I went out last night.
Oh, where did you go?
I went to Book of Mormon.
Oh, was that last night?
Yeah,
Was it amazing?
It was, my gosh, it was great. I went and saw it, I don't know if it was 20 years ago. It was a long time ago,
Oh,
but then I went back. Fantastic. What a show. Like so tight. The production is amazing.
oh,
The
amazing.
performers extraordinary. And went to dinner beforehand. Beautiful place in Melbourne. Beautiful restaurant. But you know what surprised me?
What?
That, well, maybe it didn't surprise me, but some of our listeners might, get this, is that I sat down and my friend was there and she was having a drink and they said, what would you like to drink? And I said, I'm just fine with water, thank you. And then they came back, honestly, might be 2 minutes later. Oh, have you thought about a drink? Oh, no, I'm happy just to have water. Oh, okay, no problem. And then a different waiter came, oh, what would you like to drink?
Yes.
I'm actually just really comfortable with the water.
Just water is my
So it was
drink of choice.
free, and I thought
Yes.
I've spoken to two waiters, so maybe now they're going to leave me alone. And then somebody came over. They said, "Oh, we thought you might like this," which was a list of the non-alcoholic drinks. And I was like, "Oh, I'm just really good with water, thank you." Oh, okay, no problem. And they walked away.
Interesting.
Four times.
4 times.
Oh,
Water is not a socially appropriate
it's
drink,
not a socially
Sally.
appropriate. And look, I understand that it does not cost anything, or actually, it did cost something because we were in a fancy restaurant, so it was all
Did you get
sparkling water.
sparkling? Hope you got sparkling.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just shocked. Just listen to me. I just want water. It's not a
Yeah.
crime.
Not a crime to just have water. Interesting.
Yeah.
Sally, I think you should take up drinking. What are they called? Non-alcoholic. What are they called?
Oh, like
Non-alcoholic.
mocktails. Mocktails.
Mocktails. Thank
I
you. I think you should
love
be a
a
mocktail.
mocktail. I
I
love
do
a mocktail, but
too.
sometimes you
I
feel
love
like you're drinking essentially cordial, but you're paying 20 bucks for it.
You are drinking cordial
So no
with some
thanks.
sugar around the rim. Yeah, it's true. Good morning, Sally.
Good morning, Siona. How you going?
I'm good. Get us
Good.
started. Kick us off.
Oh, we are talking about fatigue today.
Yeah, I know. And it's
Oh,
like
excited.
when I looked at this,
Mm.
I thought I'm going to do, well, I mean, I did look at this before today, but I'm doing a check-in with how I'm feeling and my fatigue
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah.
And get just like a quick fun fact, I got
Mm.
into bed last night and I was so tired and I had like a
Mm.
heat pack.
Oh,
Like
yeah, lovely.
I'm just loving those. Like I'm
Oh,
really in my 70s era,
perfect.
like with it. Yep, this is great.
Yep.
Anyway, and I'm all cut up and like with that, and I'm just almost about to get to sleep.
Mm.
And then my 8-year-old wakes me up.
Oh,
Wants to sleep in the spare bed that doesn't have any sheets on
oh
it
no.
and
Oh no.
says to me, just get some clean sheets out and make it. And I say, I'm not doing that,
Oh,
mate.
I was asleep, buddy.
I was asleep. So that led to a 15-minute fight, which is
Yeah,
great.
good.
But I'll tell you what, my husband slept through all of it, so that was great. So I will say my fatigue levels are a little bit higher than usual.
And his fatigue levels, not at all.
Oh, not at all.
He's
He
good.
is great. Had a wonderful sleep. My 8-year-old and I were laughing about our fight last night. Remember that time when you were really
Funny.
unreasonable and you asked me to
Oh,
make bed? He's like, what's this about? I'm like, that's right.
that's
You-
right. Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
That's the hardest time to be woken up,
oh,
just when you've gone to sleep.
just. So, fatigue,
Yes.
back to fatigue.
Yeah, we're talking fatigue today. We're talking fatigue in chronic health conditions.
Yeah.
We're going to differentiate between what does fatigue look like and what does being tired look like.
Yes.
And I thought we should bring the listeners' attention to an episode we did literally years ago.
Yes, it was years ago.
It was called I Get Tired Too.
Oh, Sally, I get tired too.
Oh, are you fatigued? Yeah, I had a really late
am.
last night.
Me
Late night.
too. I'm so tired. It's the
so
same
tired
thing.
So we did a lot of comparison,
We
or we
did.
did a lot of discussion about people comparing themselves to us as people with chronic health conditions, whether it be around fatigue and their levels of tiredness,
Yeah.
their helpful suggestions. Oh, if you just go to bed early tonight, you'll be fine.
Yes.
All of those types of things. So we've done an episode looking at that before.
We have. Yeah.
Today's episode, we just wanted to elaborate on a couple of other elements around chronic health condition fatigue that maybe we didn't cover then.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring that to people's attention because that was, an episode that a lot of people enjoyed.
Yes, they did indeed.
Yep.
So let's just start with the fact that fatigue gets thrown around a lot, right?
That's the word.
The word, I mean, I just used it
Yes.
and I was talking about my amount of sleep then. So I'm just doing that. I get tired too thing. But in chronic illness, it means something very specific. So we're not talking about the feeling sleepy
No.
or needing an early night because you've had a big day. We're not talking about that.
Yep.
What are we talking about, Sally?
What we're talking about is fatigue and chronic illness is more like a whole body, whole brain shutdown.
Yep.
So it's physical, it's cognitive, and it's emotional as well. It can actually feel like your limbs are so heavy,
Yes.
but also that your brain is really foggy. And often we just find ourselves feeling quite overwhelmed by it all. So that kind of
Hmm.
hits the three, the physical, the cognitive, and the
Yeah, it does.
emotional. Yeah.
Yes. And I think what's really important is that it's not always proportional to what you've done,
Um,
right? So
yeah.
you can wake up already fatigued. You could have a huge sleep. You could do
Yes.
12 hours and
Yes.
wake up fatigued.
That's right. And we often call it unearned fatigue, right?
Mm.
So you go for a run or you do some gardening or you socialize for a couple of hours and you've earned that fatigue because
Yes.
you've put in the time, you've done the work. And that
Yes.
feels, for most people with chronic health conditions or without, that can kind of feel satisfying. But
Yes.
fatigue, especially in the early days of diagnosis, can be really confusing,
Absolutely.
especially when people around you are trying to make sense of it through their tiredness lens because they've
Yeah.
only ever really described how they're feeling as being, or they feel good or they feel tired. So they
Yes,
think you
correct.
must be experiencing tiredness.
Yes,
And sometimes
exactly.
that's confusing. It's hard to describe.
It's really confusing. When you were
Mm.
talking about that earned, I was thinking of,
Yeah.
when like I used to love, what was that class? Pump class.
Oh, pump class in
Yes.
aerobics.
Yeah, and aerobics.
Yep.
And I love the DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness. Remember
Oh,
that
yeah,
you get?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the
I get
next
that.
day you'd be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, like
I
I
can't walk
worked
down my
out.
stairs.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can't move, but I earned it. You'd be really
Yes.
thrilled.
Oh my
But
gosh.
that is not what we're talking about with with fatigue, which you just so eloquently said, which is it's not
Mm,
earned. It's just this like
it's not earned.
surprise.
Yeah.
You had a restful day and you really didn't do that much, and you're
Yeah.
massively fatigued.
That's right.
Yeah.
As opposed, I'm going to stay with that idea of exercising, as opposed to the joy that I get by doing too many squats. Hate it when I'm doing it. But then the next day, when you just can't sit down on the toilet, you can get up okay, but you kind of fall on it because of the
Not an
squats.
experience I
No,
have.
because my legs are
Oh, yeah,
like,
all the
no.
time I'm doing too many squats and then can't sit on the toilet. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
regularly,
you remember
Sally.
that? Yeah, yeah. I got to get back to that.
Uh,
Haven't felt that for a while, but
haven't felt it. That's funny.
okay. Well, let's run through the multidimensional reality of fatigue.
Yes.
And we've already described it, haven't we? So when we look at physical, we think of having a really heavy body. For a lot of people, they
Yes.
just like, oh, my limbs. People describe it like I'm walking through concrete
Yes.
and lifting
I
my arms in mud.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's one that I absolutely resonate with the
Yeah.
fatigue. When they used to talk about MS fatigue, I'd go to
Yes.
all these seminars.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't really resonate with this. I wouldn't get tired. I wouldn't have to nap. That wasn't the fatigue. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't really have fatigue like that or how other
Yeah.
people describe it. But I'm like, oh, my muscles fatigue, my
Yeah.
legs get really tired. So that's when I'm like, oh, I understand it in this context of this
Yes.
physical, heavy body,
Yeah.
low energy of my legs, not necessarily cognitive. My brain is like, right, let's go. We've got a million things to do. And my
Yeah.
body's like, sorry for ya.
Yeah.
Not
I'm not
coming
going to
with
let you
ya.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And so that's the second one that you've mentioned, that cognitive
Yes.
reality of fatigue for people with chronic health conditions. So that includes brain fog. People
Yes.
will describe it like they feel like their head is full of cotton wool,
Yes. Yes.
where they experience really poor levels of concentration,
Yeah.
low memory. People will talk about not finding the words.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is all kind of elements of fatigue, but in that cognitive level.
Yes. And this is a very classic one. And this is
Mm,
very distressing because this
mm,
affects, I mean, all of them. Fatigue in any
mm,
way can be very debilitating, but the cognitive stuff is very, very
mm.
debilitating.
Oh, yeah.
You're not being able to be present, maybe if at work,
Yep.
in your relationships, socially, it can be really hard if there's cognitive fatigue. Being
Yep.
able to keep up with it and process the multiple conversations very hard.
Oh my gosh. Or the questions, my kids are quite patient with me, I think, around this one, but often I know that I have just asked them a question about what time are we leaving tonight, for example, to get to whatever sport. And then 3 minutes later, I'll have to say, I know you've just told me the answer, but can you just run that by me again?
Yeah.
Because I didn't listen to it in a way where I could take that information and lock it down
Yeah.
somewhere in my brain.
Yes.
And they know some days are better than other days.
Yep.
And yep, patience is important with cognitive
Patience.
fatigue.
Absolutely, it is. And let's talk about the emotional, like the
Yeah.
emotional fatigue and what that can do. That can lead to low motivation.
Yes.
And most certainly, it can lead to feeling really frustrated and irritable.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And vulnerable.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And we don't talk about emotional fatigue much. So I think it's
No.
hopefully nice for people to go, yeah, you know what, that is real. That's a part of my chronic health fatigue where I can just feel overwhelmed. It's all coming together and making
Yeah.
a bit too much.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we talk about compassion fatigue in psychology, right? We
Yeah,
talk about
that's
emotional
it.
fatigue of people who live with chronic illness. So yeah, I think that's an important one to touch on.
Yeah. So we've already mentioned, but it's important to recap that it's not proportional to activity. So you can
No.
wake up fatigue, like you've said before, and small tasks can feel like mountains.
Yeah, I think that's a really important one because sometimes I'll be talking to a client, they're like, all I did was this. And
Yes.
then I paid for it for 2 days later.
Oh,
two
the
days later, I was
classic.
still suffering.
Yep.
Yeah.
All I did was have a shower, and then I realized I
Yeah.
couldn't go to the event that I was showering for.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's, yeah, very
Yep.
frustrating. And very importantly, it's not resolved by rest or sleep.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard one, I think, for just the general sort of population to
Yeah.
understand that if you're tired, you sleep and then, you know,
You're fine.
you're fixed. And that
Yeah.
is not the case in the fatigue that we are talking about, which means that it's very, very hard for other people to relate to.
Yep.
And it's often, well, I mean, fatigue mostly is pretty invisible.
It is.
And so there's a real mismatch between appearance and experience. And that's where a
Yeah.
lot of the frustration for people who experience fatigue.
Yes. You
Yep.
experience high levels of fatigue, but you appear to be fine. You look so good,
You
Siona.
look so good.
You
Thank
look
you. No,
fine.
thank you very much.
You don't even look sick.
I don't know if we said this before
Yeah.
because I'm fatigued and I wasn't really listening. I'm
Yeah.
just joking. But I think I have no actual evidence of this, but I would think, just based on our sort of experience with clients, that fatigue would be
Yep.
one of the most common symptoms of chronic health conditions, of multiple. It's
Yes,
not like it
across the
lives in
board.
across the board, yes.
Yes,
It's a very, very common experience of many people who live with chronic health
it
conditions.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's highly relatable by those living with chronic health conditions and highly misunderstood by those that are not.
Yes, well said.
Thank you.
Good one. Okay,
Mic drop
should
on
we
that.
talk?
Yeah.
Should we mic drop on that? Let's talk about the science, right?
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
talk about,
Yeah.
let's do some basic science behind it. So we'll break
Yes.
it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Fatigue in chronic illness, like MS, so we're talking about our own experiences or other
Yeah.
conditions, is often linked to changes in the central nervous system. Like
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
where it starts. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you and I are familiar with the condition of multiple sclerosis, and we know that lots of people will explain it as, there's damage to the myelin, the protective coating around the nerves, and it slows down how efficiently messages travel in the brain and body.
Yes.
And often we hear that health professionals will describe it like an electrical cord. So in multiple sclerosis, the brain and spinal cord send messages through nerves like electricity traveling along an electrical cord. And the cord's plastic coating is the myelin in this story, which helps signals move quickly and smoothly. But in MS, this coating is damaged. So you imagine a frayed or exposed wire
Yeah.
where signals become slower or weaker, or they're just interrupted. They kind of get lost along the way.
Yeah.
So as a result, messages don't always get through properly. And that can lead to all of the symptoms that people with MS experience. But in
Yeah.
particular, fatigue is one where this
Yes.
plays a huge role.
Yeah.
Weakness or brain fog. And the brain just has to work harder to resend the messages or to get the messages through, which means that we're using more energy.
Yeah.
And that contributes to the overwhelm across all of the layers
Yeah.
and the persistent fatigue that people experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well said. I like that.
Some people also compare it to Wi-Fi, where your Wi-Fi signal is just really bad.
Oh gosh, our Wi-Fi, I mean my personal one, but the Wi-Fi in our
Yeah.
home is actually
Yeah.
really shit. And then my
Right.
body, this feels
There
unfair.
we go. It's
I
unfair.
know.
Yep. Yep.
Goodness.
Oh.
Okay, so I
Mm.
guess to kind of recap, inefficient nerve signaling,
Yeah.
which is basically what you explained, but I think in general across the
Mm.
population, it's the brain working harder, right?
That's right. No
Do
matter what your
basic
condition.
tasks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. No
Yeah.
matter what your condition.
Yeah.
And then there's also an immune component. So there's
Yeah.
ongoing inflammation in the body, and that can contribute to that sort of sick feeling, to low energy, to low
Yes.
motivation, to that increase in fatigue, right?
Yep. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yep. Then there's the cognitive load. So the brain is working harder to compensate, which uses more energy, often without you even realizing. So that's a different
Yeah.
kind of its energy is being sucked out by that aspect as well.
Yeah.
So there's
Well,
increased effort for attention and processing decision making, all of that.
yeah, all of that. And I think we've touched on that in, when we talk
Yeah.
about disability tax, we're like, well, there's multiple things that we're thinking about.
Yeah.
Energy, da, da, da. It makes sense that you're dealing with more and therefore you're going to be more fatigued, because
Yes.
of just cognitively, there's 1,000 tabs.
Yeah. Your body's doing a lot of 1,000 tabs,
Exactly.
is what you
Well,
said.
I did
All
say
of your
1,000 tabs.
tabs. Yeah.
All of the
They're
tabs.
all open.
Yeah.
And it's legitimate. Fatigue is
Yes.
real. Like
The
this is
fatigue is
really what's
real.
happening, whether you have a condition which involves the nerves and breakdown there, or
Mm.
whether you have a condition which involves, infections or inflammation,
Hmm.
then your body is working overtime. Fatigue is real. It's not just a feeling and it's not just being tired.
Not just being tired.
No.
No. So, like on that point, let's
Yeah.
do the fatigue versus tiredness.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
Let's just like debunk
Yeah.
it. Like, what is tiredness?
Well, it's earned fatigue. We've said it before. So it
Yeah.
increases with exertion. You put
Yes.
more out, you're going to feel more tired.
Yes. And I think tiredness is predictable. Like, if you have
Yes.
3 hours of sleep, you're
Yeah.
going to be tired. Like, you just
Yeah.
expect there's a predictability in that. I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow,
Yeah. When
right?
your 8-year-old wakes you up to put sheets on the
Correct.
bed,
Like,
you're going to go,
yeah.
oh, this
Yeah.
might contribute.
Or if I'm going to do something that is not my usual, so I'm going to do like a marathon. Why do we
Oh,
always go to such extreme things? If I'm
yeah.
going to do a
I'm going to climb
marathon,
Everest.
yes, then I expect there's a predictability in the fact that for the next few days, I'm going to feel shit.
I'll probably be a bit tired if I climb
Yeah, I'll
Everest, to be
probably
honest,
just a little bit, just a
or
tad, just
even in
take
the
me,
training.
yeah,
I could be
24 to
fine.
48
Yeah.
hours, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be
Exactly.
fine.
Yes.
Whereas fatigue is not, it doesn't play by those rules. It's not predictable. You
No.
can rest and you can still feel exhausted. Like you said at the
Yes.
opener, you can have a good 8, 10 hours sleep, wake
Yep.
up, feel just as rotten as you did when you went to bed last night.
Yes. Yes.
It's not proportional to the activity you've done. It is absolutely not predictable.
Yes.
And it's not fixed by rest.
Yes, that's
Affects
right.
everything.
It's not improved by sleep or rest. Can we say a key distinction could be that when you're tired, it's like, I need to take a break,
Hmm.
versus when you're fatigued, it's like, I physically cannot do this.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we go about describing fatigue to other people when they have the lens of being tired? The people in our lives that don't have chronic health conditions,
Mm.
they work hard in the garden or at their jobs or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Of course they get tired. So
Yeah.
they understand what being tired is.
Yep.
How do we try to explain to them that the fatigue that we experience now as people living with chronic health conditions might be actually, can I say, extremely different to the
Yes.
experience of
You can
tiredness?
say extremely
Thank you.
difficult. And I will say that,
Mm.
I mean, it is very hard to live with fatigue, but I would say
Mm.
equally one of the hardest parts is being able to explain it and have some understanding from those people around you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
So,
yeah, and on top of that, living with it is hard, explaining it is hard, but living with it is easier if you have people around you who can really kind of get it.
yeah, well, I mean, it's the validation part, and it's
Yeah.
also that people can help put things in place for you,
Yes.
like multiple reasons
Yes.
why, if there's people who are empathetic and understanding and
Yep.
helpful, dare we
Yeah.
say,
Yeah. It
it,
might make it
it
a bit easier. Yeah.
correct, yeah, it
That's what
won't
we're
make it
going for.
perfect.
So
That's what
what
we're
are some
going for.
examples we can give people today
What are some
about some
examples?
strategies to help inform their loved ones?
Yes, I think I think
Mm.
that you could compare it to something that people have experienced.
Yeah.
So, for example,
Mm.
you a lot of people have experienced the flu before. I've
Mm.
actually, fun fact, I've never had the flu. Well,
Okay,
I said to
quickly touch
someone,
wood. Have you
I
got wood
know,
around you? Seriously.
I
Have you
know,
had the
but
flu shot this year?
yeah, sure, have.
Have it
But
tomorrow.
yeah, that's tomorrow what I'm doing.
Yep.
But like I will say to people, I'm not sure I've had the flu, and people will say to me, you haven't, because if you had the flu, you would
You
have
would
known.
know
People are
about
really
it.
passionate about the flu. When
Absolutely.
you get the flu, you can't move. Like people are so passionate about it.
Oh,
Like,
yes. You
so
are
I almost think that
unwell.
being able to compare it to something that people do have an
Yes.
understanding of, the flu or
Yes.
jet lag, is pretty rough, isn't it?
That's right. And jet lag is a good one, I think. Because if
Um,
anybody has experienced jet lag and you
yes.
just, your body at some point
Ah,
says, nope, I know that it's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
but
but
you
nope.
must.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must.
Yeah. Yeah. Something you could add to that, I guess, is saying, imagine your worst flu day or the
Yes.
worst experience you've ever had with jet lag.
Mm.
Imagine, say the flu, imagine it without the fever, but it just doesn't go away with rest. So you don't feel better after a good sleep. You don't feel better,
Yes.
after a shower. And I know that the really intense flu takes a number of days,
Hmm.
but I think that is a good comparison. And I think it's important for us to help them with some kind of comparison in their life that they might be able to reference to bridge that understanding gap.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Agree. I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I like that.
Mm, mm,
I'm trying to think of whether I've ever had to explain fatigue. I
mm,
don't think I have. I don't think I have.
mm.
Have you ever?
I had a friend once was trying to understand fatigue, and she was the one, and actually we've mentioned this in our much earlier episode, which I think is episode 10, around I Get Tired Too. And I mentioned in that one, but she was the one that came up with, hey, is it anything like pregnancy in that first trimester where you get to 6 or 7 o'clock at night and you are just absolutely wiped out? That is it, you are done.
Yes.
And I thought that was actually, for me, everyone's fatigue is different.
Yep.
But for me, I thought that was not a bad comparison. But
Yes.
and also pregnancy is so different for everybody. But for her experience and for my experience, that worked quite well. But she was the one saying, hey, I have that fatigue at 6 or 7 at night and then I go to bed and I feel better the next day. But
Yep.
it hits me every day at that kind of same
Yeah.
time when she was pregnant. So she could understand that fatigue that's related to chronic health conditions just doesn't happen for a couple of hours a day.
Yep.
It can actually be for days at a
Yes.
time. Yeah.
I just love that she was curious and
Yeah.
attempting to find a connection with well, an understanding really.
And you know
Um,
what, Siona? That's exactly what you said in our episode 2 years ago.
do you know?
Yeah. You said, I'm so glad she was curious. I'm like, yes, that's what we
Well,
want in our friends.
let's give it up to for her again.
Yeah. Well done, Mia.
Oh, go on, Mia.
We'll name her.
Yeah, why not? So I think helping people understand that fatigue isn't about motivation or effort is really important.
Mm, that's right.
It's kind of those key factors that we touched on before.
Yep.
And again, I just want to say that it's not always our responsibility to have to explain everything, but for the
Correct.
people who are close to you and where it will be of benefit,
Yep.
thinking about how you can explain it is useful. Like just choose the
Yes.
people that
Yes.
you have the energy, because let's not waste the
Yep.
energy on explaining to the
No, that's
people
right.
that don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Let's not create more fatigue.
Yeah, so we can try to explain it by using a comparison in the first instance, but also by emphasizing the limits that we might experience in our lives, but also the unpredictability. So I think it's really important for people to get their heads around my energy might be limited and inconsistent. So I might look okay, look, I know I look fabulous, but that doesn't mean that I have capacity
Yeah.
today when
Yes.
maybe I did yesterday.
Yeah. Lovely. Yeah.
And sometimes we hear from clients, don't we, where they say, oh my God, I felt so bad, or I felt really conscious because what is the perception of other people about me? I couldn't go to work on Friday because I was so fatigued I couldn't get out of bed. But then I saw one of my colleagues at the restaurant the next day when I was having lunch with my friends. And I'm so worried that they're going to think, oh my gosh, I mean, she was too tired to work yesterday, but
Yeah.
look at her now.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
So sometimes the importance of just really having a good conversation with people about the inconsistency that's involved in fatigue is just as important
Absolutely.
as what fatigue feels like when you have it.
That's such a good point because it really is. I think that's one of the hardest things about chronic health in general. And,
Yep.
we're talking about fatigue, but it is that inconsistency. So it is really hard to plan.
Yep.
Therefore, it is really hard from what people are perceiving. It's hard to experience it yourself. It's hard for other people to understand it. It's
Yep.
all, yeah, yeah. So I think we also want to name that invisible impact, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of fatigue is invisible, especially
Yes.
cognitive fatigue. Think,
Cognitive fatigue is so hard for people to understand.
yes.
Yeah.
So I think it can help for people to say it's not just physical, like even to use
Yeah.
that language, like I struggle with concentration or
Yep.
memory or decision making
Mm.
when I'm fatigued. Hands down, that's a really challenging thing that clients bring up frequently.
Yep.
The cognitive fatigue and how
Mm.
others cannot understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can talk to them about it in ways where we can help bridge that understanding gap, then
Mm,
maybe that will help them to understand more fully when we need to cancel plans.
yes.
So, yes, I might look fine, I might be able to walk across the room, but
Hmm.
actually, the cognitive fatigue is such that I need to cancel whatever we were going to do because I need some downtime, I need
Yes.
recovery time,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to enjoy the experience if I feel like I'm not fully present, if my
Yep.
mind is not there. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
So, like we're wrapping this up. We know this is sort
Yep.
of a short episode talking about fatigue, but we felt like it was really important because it is, again,
Mm.
I'm saying the same thing, but it is so common. It's one of the most common, most misunderstood parts of chronic illness. And
Yep.
in wrapping up, we want to say fatigue is real, it's
Yes.
complex, it's not a
Yes.
one size fits all here, people. It's often minimized
Yep.
by friends and family. Also, it's
Yep.
minimized by medical professionals. We didn't even touch
Oh
on
no, we
that.
didn't touch on that. And also minimized by the people living with it sometimes.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good
Yep.
point.
So it does
Isn't it?
come with a lot of guilt and frustration and
Yeah.
self-doubt
Yes.
sometimes, especially when the outside world doesn't reflect the feelings that you're having around this.
Yeah, and I mean, as you're saying that, Sally, I'm thinking like you experience being tired,
Yep.
fatigued,
Yep.
and you're kind of like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Like it's just
Mm.
fatigue. And even though it might be quite debilitating, there's still this aspect of, oh, but it's not searing pain. You know,
Yes.
it's not dot dot dot. So we sort
Yes.
of it can be one that's really easily minimized
Yep.
internally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just externally by other people, although absolutely it can be. So
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
So if this is something you
Mm.
experience, fatigue, then
Mm.
you're certainly not alone. It's very valid.
Yes.
The importance of validation, both from others,
Yep.
very, but actually, let's go again, from self, very
Yes.
important, and then from others.
Yep.
The validation, and then if we're not getting the validation, what can we do to help bring people into our world so people can
Yeah.
understand a little bit more or connect a little bit more to understand what fatigue actually is,
Yep.
which can be wildly helpful.
Yes, it can. And
Hmm.
if you are listening and you're somebody that supports somebody living with fatigue,
Oh, yes, good
then
point.
understanding it a little bit more can make a huge difference.
Yes.
And we thank you for being here listening to us. If you are somebody living with a chronic health condition, maybe you want to share this episode with somebody just
Yep.
so they have maybe a bit of a better understanding of what you might be going through if you're living with
Yep.
fatigue.
Yep.
Hmm. Good.
Sally,
Yes.
what are you looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to? Well, we've got busyness going on, lots of sport, lots of social stuff. To be honest, I'm just going to be sad again because I think, not sad. Last week I said I'm looking forward to pajama mama time,
Yes.
but I've already got that pegged in my calendar for Sunday morning. I've got a
Yeah.
morning to sleep in.
Great.
So I'm going to sleep in and then I'm going to enjoy, seeing some more kids sport as I
Great.
did on Saturday. So I don't know, a bit of a sleep in.
But yeah, that's all
Fine.
right. That's a good one.
Thank you. I feel a bit boring saying that, but
No, it's
I am
it's a
looking
little
forward
bit.
to
That's
it.
all right. We'll take it.
Tired. I'm fatigued.
Um,
How about you?
Look, mine's it's a little bit similar. I'm still very much enjoying a Wednesday night at the moment for my new favorite show, which is The Testaments, which I've talked
Oh,
about.
yes, great.
Having my sneaky snack, being in bed by 8:30,
Oh,
hopefully
that's
seeing a
good.
child, and then just sitting there with my heat wheat bag.
Good.
Just I want you to envision this. I'm in my pajamas. I've got
Yep.
my heat wheat bag. I've got
Yep.
my laptop with it on. I've got
Yep.
a cup of chips,
Chips.
avocado oil chips.
Yes.
And then I've got either a decaf coffee or a chai. I am in heaven, people.
Okay, I've got a question
Yeah, please.
from your previous experience. After you finish your chips, no,
Yeah.
I've got multiple questions now, but after you finish your chips and you close that laptop,
Yes.
do you get out of bed, sweep all the chip crumbs out, and brush your teeth before you go to bed?
I do brush my teeth. Yes, I
Yes.
do.
Good.
And now I'm eating the chips on a cup, like in a cup on a plate.
Oh,
Ah,
good. We're
genius.
preventing all crumbs.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Good.
We are
You're
reassured by
welcome.
that.
Oh my gosh. The strategies
Good.
people are getting here is
That's
incredible.
right. Life hacks all over
I
the place.
know. Good to see you, Sally. I'll see
You
you
too,
next week.
Sienna. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.